Good morning, frothers, and welcome back to Wheatlow Brewery. We've got a super brew day for you today, and a brew day with a difference because we've got 4 apprentices helping us today. So stick with us on this video whilst we spend the next 12 hours, shortened of course, of the video, brewing the beer, and we'll be doing endless barbecuing, including breakfast, lunch and dinner. And of course at the end we'll taste the beer as well and show you the froth. So before we carry on, I'll let them introduce themselves. Right, welcome back to Wheatlow Brewery, and we've got the top team on the job today. Everyone want to introduce themselves?
Hiya, I'm Doug.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Kingy.
I'm James.
Top team on the job, and none of them have got hangovers. They're fresh as a daisy. They haven't all stayed at Matt's house and drank till the early hours of the morning. And today we're going to brew neck oil. What do you know about neck oil, boy?
Oh, it's hellish though, isn't it? It's good gear.
So yeah, we're going to try and recreate neck oil from the glory days. And I've got a bit of a recipe put together, so we better get cracking now.
Let's get on.
Right, so somebody needs to open that bag, tip 5 kilograms into that bucket. So as you heard there, the beer we're going to brew today is neck oil. And the malt bill for this beer is 88.3% pale malt or extra pale malt. Whatever you can get your hands on, clear choice pale malt might be a good one from Crisp. We've got 6.6% carapils or dextrin malt, 2.9% of a medium crystal, and 2.2% of Caraglow, a new Simpsons malt that I'm using today.
I don't suppose people get to look behind the scenes and see the special bag of water mixing tackle that you have.
That's where it all happens in the water.
So I've got 2 out of 6 there, have I?
No, you've got chalk. What time did you finish drinking in the night?
4, obviously. Yeah, that was
Bloody hell. State. Your breath.
Stop it! I brushed my teeth and everything today.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah, wasn't enough? I'm on water prep. So
Yeah.
you've got these in litres, not...
No, that's grams.
UK is quite unique.
G for grams.
Some kind of game.
Water profile for this beer, or at least the intended water profile for this beer, is calcium 104, sodium 10, magnesium 17, sulfates 250, chlorides 50, so 5 to 1 in favour of sulfates. This is going to help the hops to sing and the bitterness as well to come out in this beer. What Matthew's actually measuring out here, I'm not quite sure if it resembles what we intended, this being his first job in the terrible state that he's in.
I'm doing it wrong. We're after 32 grams of that. See how it goes wrong in the hands of an idiot?
You are more wrong.
I am a moron.
You weighed it wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's not a disaster.
The same, don't they? Some stress involved with this, Rich. Whoa, they're knocking the
Stop it.
table.
Serious.
So I'll put the water profile on the screen for you to have a look at, but whether it bears any resemblance to what Hangover Harris here is weighing out, we'll probably never know. Meanwhile, more compos mentis members of the team dropped on changing an element that we'd discovered had burnt out, and this gave us a slight delay, but we were soon back up and running and ready to mash in. Neck Oil is a beer that started in London in just 2011. Beavertown Brewery by founder Logan Plant, and he called it Logan Oil because his grandfather used to say he was going down the pub to oil his neck. So presumably that particular oil in question was neck oil, or at least that's what inspired the name. So He envisaged it as a light, sessionable beer, light, hoppy, easy drinking and interesting. And at the time, it was a beer that we really hadn't seen before in the UK. During the craft beer boom at that time, I suppose you'd say. And Beavertown became a sensational hit in London as a result of this amazing beer. And eventually, the success turned into the sale of the company, partially at first to Heineken, and then in full to Heineken just a couple of years ago. Critics would suggest that the brewery being owned by Heineken is a backward step in terms of them cheapening the ingredients or shortcutting the process or what have you. But Heineken do know a lot about brewing, probably doing a good job of it. What they do and what supporters would point out is that they do make this beer very widely available indeed. It's even on in my local pub. Beavertown's actually made it to the Staffordshire countryside now, and it's an extremely expensive pint for what it is. It's a keg beer. It sells for £6.80, I think, in my local pub, which is pretty cheap. It can easily be £7 or £8 in the cities. And they've always justified this price by the fact that it's got more hops in and it's therefore more expensive to make and so on. So it's no wonder that Heineken wanted to buy such a brewery that could make these beers that could sell for those kinds of money, for that kind of money, because there presumably is a good margin in that beer. They were also famous for their amazing artwork on the cans, and not just neck oil but gamma ray and so on, and colourful glasses as well in the pubs. So a well thought of brewery in the UK, and people were very upset when Heineken bought it. I think the one thing that people don't like about Heineken is how they buy breweries like that, and then those particular breweries lose their charm. At least critics would suggest that. And they own many such breweries around the world, in America, in Europe, in Holland, their own country. I went to Oedipus, for example, in Amsterdam, which looks like a real proper independent brewery, but that's Heineken owned. So I think they're getting used to kind of preserving the little quirks of the small craft breweries, but of course it's just never quite the same as when a brewery is run by its founder, I'm sure. Right, yeah, I'll have a Staffordshire oatcake with a sausage and cheese in it. So it's a delicacy unique to Staffordshire. It's like a pancake made with oatmeal. And we always stuff them with bacon and cheese, sausage and cheese, things like that.
Lovely.
Super.
Can't eat that one. Oh, what?
So while the lads are measuring out the hops and sniffing them, I'll tell you what's going in. It's quite a complex hop bill. We've got Galaxy at 16 IBUs at the start of the boil, Columbus as well at the start, 8.1 IBUs, and then 20 minutes before the end we're sticking some Mosaic in, 10.2 IBUs, some Vic Secret, 12.9 IBUs, And then 15 minutes from the end, we've got Amarillo 3.1 IBUs, Centennial 3.4 IBUs, and Simcoe at 4.4 IBUs. We're going to then later on have a dry hop as well, and we'll measure those out now as well and put them in a bag for later. So we've got approximately 1 gram per litre of each of the following: Galaxy, Mosaic, Simcoe and Vic Secret. And we'll be fermenting the beer out, dumping the cone for the yeast, and then putting these hops in at 14 degrees for about 2 days, and then the job will be done.
That is very refreshing. Very refreshing.
First beer of the day, sweet release, exactly 12 p.m. What do you reckon?
It's just right for this time, isn't it?
Delicious.
So what's the matter now?
It's a hot day, Dick. There's snakes.
Oh, was it not hot that day? The snakes were slithering away. Does that mean you're ready for another beer?
Well, medicinally. Yes, you've got to keep hydrated, haven't you?
I mean, what is it, 2 p.m?
Got to be at least 2 p.m.
Must be desperate.
2 p.m. somewhere.
What are you having now?
Whatever's coming.
Truth.
Let's go check lager.
Okay. Good idea. This is one of the nicest beers at the moment.
Proper.
Is it, that's David, how do you pronounce that? David?
Yeah, Davitka.
Where's that? Meaning?
It means 9, which is it's 9 Plato in strength. That's how they sort of describe them over there,
Right.
and how many Plato they are.
Check those, you can have it. Is it a milker, you say?
Well, that's a Mliko, yeah,
Milko.
and that's a Schnit, and that's a Kladink.
Okay.
So what we're on here then?
So I'm aiming for Kladinks.
Which one's that? The bit. Matt, don't poke holes.
I'm not.
Honestly.
It's not like you bought an expensive tap to do this, just to do this, and still can't get it right, is it?
Getting better. We're pouring it into
Not
form.
much wrong with that one, is there?
So what we have to do? One for Bob, one for you.
Me?
Yeah, sir.
Trying to give it up.
We're all trying to give it up.
3. No, 3. Oh, there's a 4.
Damn your eyes, sir.
It's been a while since I watched Shark.
Really? Haven't you watched it this week?
My wife doesn't let me watch it.
Imagine living a life
She says
like
it's
that.
nonsense.
Yeah. Can go off before.
I have tried damning her eyes, but she didn't take it well.
Blather. You should just dress in full rifle uniform and sit there. Just, that's it. What sort of glass is that? Which one?
Is it a boot?
Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Oh, I'll have to make an appearance. We do like a boot.
I think it's Northampton drink out of their boot when they win, don't they? Is it Northampton? One of the rugby teams.
That. There's more in there than you think.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Just fuck you up, doesn't it?
There we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Push. Well, not push. What did you say in Czech?
Na zdraví.
That's the thing. Ooh. Now that's special. Kingy's missing out there.
What do you reckon to that then?
It's pretty sensational, Richard. Not just because it's a hot day and we need lubrication. Bloody hell.
It's the thick froth into it as well.
It's shiny, just beautiful head. Light, easy drinking, crisp. Frothy. Froth.
Go on, Doug. Tell us what you think.
Well, I'm just finishing off my nearly.
Oh, nearly alcohol-free.
I think that's what this one was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, which is very nice. I'm just gonna.
Just have to
You have to have it before your head collapses.
Yeah.
quick.
The emergency.
What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, it's good. That's lovely.
You're normally a lager drinking heathen, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You seem to breathe yours in.
It's evaporation in this heat, I'm afraid.
That's a testament to how good it is. It's gone. How good was it?
Not as good as yours, Richard. That is hellish. Ooh. Yeah.
That is good.
We're going to ferment the beer with USO5 or actually WHC lax in fact today. I've got both in stock, but I think we'll use the lax. We're going to add some clarity to make it gluten free because Kingy, who's brewing with us today, is gluten intolerant, and we're going to use some ALDC just to help prevent diacetyl as well. So it should be a good day. Looking forward to this. Brew day finished. The apprentices are all out in the sun drinking delicious Czech lager, and I'm just doing the transfer in here. So we're getting it into this tank at about 20 degrees, and then we're going to pitch some USO5 to ferment it. Brew day's gone quite well. I think it's going to be slightly over the numbers, so I'll check the gravity once it's in the tank and cool, and we'll possibly just liquor it back a little bit to get to 1040. See what it comes out at. Hang on.
Just straight in the top.
Yeah. Super. And now we need the clarity for gluten free and the ALDC. That is your stuff to make it gluten free.
Right.
That's it.
Just drop it in there.
Yeah, it's
I
amazing.
wonder if
That.
that's as expensive as the tablets that I buy that are like £1.50 each. And you have to take 2 of them if you want a Stein when you go to Germany.
Oh, really? So you
Yeah.
can get around it then.
Yeah. Yeah, for £3 every time you have a Stein.
Yeah.
Unreal. What's that?
This is another enzyme. This is alpha acetolactate decarboxylase.
Right.
It stops something called diacetyl, which is a buttery flavour, like popcorn flavour that you can get in beer from fermentation. So that can go in as well. please?
I actually know a little bit about that.
Okay.
So that's a natural antifungal that comes through the crib.
That's probably very, very unique.
Digests energy.
It's alpha-ketolactate decarboxylase.
It smelt so when it went across, and that's exactly what that'll do.
What are you saying about a cow then?
Yeah, so it's one of the compounds that's given off in the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle, and it's a natural antifungal.
Which is diacetyl or that?
Yeah,
This stuff, ALDC.
Yeah.
Aye.
So there you go.
I never knew that. So did you have to extract it from cows' stomachs then?
What's your back there, Doug?
So smoking the brisket with bits of barrel.
Where's the cask?
Oh, I'll show you the oak cask, yeah. Right, we can leave this for a bit now. pH is
The ones
right.
that were on your video?
You and the
66
keeper
degrees.
of Theakston's, handmade.
I did say that.
Alright, come and have a look at my cask.
Oh, that is an absolute beauty, isn't it? Look at that.
She's sweet.
Is that painted or burnt on?
I think it's painted.
They still all handmade, like from.
Yeah, proper Cooper with his 14 hand tools. So that's what he calls a rework. So he's had one in, taken it apart, shaved it down a bit on the inside so it's clean wood, and put it back together.
That is
Probably
seriously
replace the
stunning.
headers.
So some of the smoking blocks that I brought are them cut up.
Yeah, oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's an absolute triumph, isn't it?
It is. The only thing is, I put the old peculiar in it,
Yeah.
and it's the first use of it, and I reckon, or I think, that it's made my version of OP, and we can try both later, a little bit tannin-like, a bit bitter. I think, hopefully it's from the wood rather than an error in the recipe.
So, like going forward, do you think you're going to need to adjust for putting it in an oak cask, recipe-wise?
I think it'll just calm down, it's just like first use.
Well, once it's soaked in, then
Yeah.
I'd agree if it wasn't a rework.
Yeah, but on the inside, I think they've probably shaved off the staves
Ah,
of it.
okay, yeah.
And the other thing is when they're new, they soak them in sodium bicarbonate a bit to try and neutralise that tannin.
disinfected a bit.
And then that is
Absolutely gorgeous.
that's where I saved the yeast from the old peculiar cask that I got from Theakston, so we can try the Theakston's yeast when I brew it again.
You've got to give that a go.
So when you're brewing stuff, then, Rich, do you basically save part of that brew to start the next? There's like a starter culture, or
Sometimes I harvest the yeast and reuse it, especially if it's a special yeast like this one or the Hook Norton one I had. But I use a lot of dried yeast as well. We use dried yeast today.
Yeah.
Fresh pitch and ditch, as they call it.
yes.
Just looking at the temperature control you've got involved.
How's it performing? It's been struggling when it's been hot.
So, Rich, this smells absolutely fabulous. But who on earth dreamed up, you know what, I'm going to mix water and some grain, malt, and then, you know what, I'm going to drink what turns up. It doesn't just seem like a natural thing, does it? You wouldn't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to do that.
There's loads of things in the world like that, aren't there? But before you wonder about who thought of steeping it in water at 65 degrees before thermometers, and
Well, they didn't, did they? That was all. That was just. So that was by chance. That was like barley getting wet, and then when they got the water off it after it sat there, it was like, oh, hang on, we can drink that.
Yeah, but why
then
would
they
you do
realised.
that?
Then they
Why
it
would
was
you?
by accident, wasn't it?
but yeah,
Like,
well,
a lot of
that's
things are by
probably how the
accident.
malting process started. That your grain was damp in the corner, started
Yeah.
sprouting. They thought, oh, better dry it up by heating it up, and then the next step is to decide to make a big stew with it or something,
pretty
and then to
redneck,
leave
isn't it?
that stew so it naturally ferments. Ancient Egypt is said to have started though, isn't it?
Really?
Ale.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because like alcohol, so alcohol was effectively, because we drink alcohol because it was a way of disinfecting water,
Yeah. But
and it's northern hemisphere because we didn't. That was what we did. That's why, like in Asia and that they didn't drink alcohol because they never.
They haven't got Thames
heated
water.
stuff.
Haven't got Thames
They were
water.
frightened. They heated stuff instead of just making alcohol. But,
Well, I prefer our method, 100%. But still,
because like genetically, northern hemisphere white people have a higher tolerance to alcohol intake than what Asians do.
is that just because we've done it for that long?
Yeah, it's just genetic.
it's practice, isn't it, Sean?
So what kind of genetics has Mulligan got then for his alcohol tolerance?
Nordic or something, probably.
It must be from the Arctic. It's as northern hemisphere as you can get.
He's one of those sort of mutant genetics of mutated.
You have to be mutant to have like a neck like that, don't you?
Oh, why would we go there?
What's up with his neck?
He's got like the biggest neck to body ratio that you've ever seen in your
It's to
life.
support the knowledge.
Leg of lamb, and the chap in New Zealand used to use like sweet chili in that, and it was fucking lovely. So
Sweet chilli is a blinder, Rich. What do you make of this? I think the proof's in the eating, but
So what we got here then?
we've got about 6 kilos of brisket.
Super.
where's it from?
It is from East Sussex off the farm. So
Brilliant.
Very
Bit
nice.
of a beer snack.
Could have got you some gloves.
that's all right. Got to feel the meat, Rich. You got to feel the meat.
It looks amazing, doesn't it?
Right. What temperature is it?
Well, I've opened the top. It keeps going back up to
So,
220, 230. I've shut that virtually shut. I opened the lid to try and drop the temperature, but it's
No, that'll heat it up because it lets air in.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That'll settle down now. That will.
Wants to be about 120.
Yeah,
Ideally.
120, 130.
We'll get the deflectors on as well.
I've done this before.
Oh, I forgot they were hot. Shit.
Hot or heavy?
Hot. Just take them off.
Come off the bloody.
Oh, times you get like a casserole dish out of the oven, take the lid off with a cloth, taste it, and then put it back on with your
Grab
hand.
it.
I think with that on, we're probably okay to put it on.
Yeah, put it on.
It's not gonna taste it.
Fine. Look at that. That looks amazing.
Good job. I cut 2 kilos off it, wasn't it?
Just fits nice. I've got a bigger one over there.
Yeah.
That's grand.
We've got to tap that one.
No.
Fits now.
Yeah, we'll plug it in, get the temperature control on.
So I was going to say, like, what do you have to hold it for the yeast?
Yeah, keeping it at 20. If it gets too hot, it will give horrible flavours, and obviously if it's too cold, it will just be slow. So, right, how's the meat situation?
They're moving in. Good sense on that garden.
That's ready for wrapping now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That wants wrapping.
So what's this fillet?
Fillet.
Ready for reverse searing?
Big time.
It's nothing you'd like, Linz. Right, so take one from each row.
Thank you, sir.
Now, which one do you want then? Because now you can have a full pint.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'll always choose yours every time.
Super.
What? Kiss ass? What?
Right, neck oil. It's finished fermenting. Time to dump the cone. Get all the yeast and trub out, or most of it anyway, so that when we rouse it with the dry hop, it doesn't all just mix yeast up and that sort of thing. So, sanitise. Right, quite a bit of wastage doing this. When you're doing a dry hop, you're going to get wastage because you've got to dump that and you've got to put the hops in. They'll absorb some more beer, and then you can either siphon it off the top of the hops or dump the hops. But anyway, we've got all the yeasty stuff out of there, so I think we can put the dry hop in now. Right, here's the dry hop that we packed up on brew day. Give that a squirt and give the CO2 port a squirt down there. Prevent the pressure, which there is none. And we'll get these in. Right, it's frothing up but not too fast, so hopefully we can just get these in quick and without any major froth over. and it should pretty much start smelling and tasting like neck oil straight away with that in. So we've got it at 14 degrees, by the way. Dumped the cone a little bit again just before now, just to make sure there's no yeast in there, and half a litre did come out. So now then, let's pulse it a bit to mix it up. So turn the gas up to high pressure. Squirty. Right, that's pretty mixed up now, I think. Just like the brewer. Now, Heinz. My pressure gauge is faulty, not reading anything, and that's set at 1 bar. Super. Ralph's. Right, are you on neck oil? Yeah. How is it? Cask neck oil. Handcrafted on the premises.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah.
What do you think of neck oil these days, and how does it compare?
I'm a bit disappointed with commercially produced neck oil.
I think it's lost its edge, lost its way a bit.
It tastes very chemically, and this is very nice. As I remember neck oil being.
Really? I don't think I've ever had it on cask, so that's a nice. I've got it on keg as well, so you can try the difference if you want.
It'd be interesting to try, but I think it's really nice on cask. I've left it a while now, so it's lost its frothing.
Still got a bit. Still got a bit.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It's delicious.
This is what is it?
The draft neck oil. Very nice.
You're on cask neck oil as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It is very tasty. Thank you.
We just tried it against a can.
How'd you get on with them then?
And the can is the neck oil can, not as good, not as vibrant in the hoppiness as it used to be.
Okay.
So that's Heinekenization of neck oil and draft neck oil as well.
Yeah.
So excited to see it on cask. Never before seen.
Very nice. Very nice.
Handcrafted.
You can do this one.
That's all there is. I think we'll probably finish that first then, will we?
Going down nicely. Most people seem to be on it. Yeah.
Frothy ale.
So this.
How's the bar staff doing? So the oil for the next frothing out the building.
One keg, one no. Josh. 1 pint and 2 halves of your keg.
Okay, yeah, because we've got it on keg as well. Super. That's all there is.
Interesting.
Cask, keg, can.
Interesting. I mean,
I haven't tried it myself. Could be nowhere near.
the one thing, I'll say this on camera as well, is this is a shadow of its former self. Do you remember Neck Oil? Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, when it first came along.
Yep.
I think that's the keg actually. The keg's a bit undercarbonated, but
Okay.
take one alone.
So is that all three?
Yeah,
So this is keg first,
yeah.
and then. So are we recording now, are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Actually, do you know what? It's not bad, Rich.
Smells good.
Well, it's better than that straight away.
So yeah, here we go. We've got 3 beers here. This one is Cask Neck Oil. Middle one is Keg Homebrewed Neck Oil, and this one is Can.
What have I got? This is is that the original?
Yeah, that's no. You've got the Keg.
Yeah,
That's the original.
yeah, that's the original. That one there. Go on that one.
That's yours. and that one's yours as well.
So this is the Cask version, but it's just got more of that real hop aroma. Yours, it's really funny actually. I've not had a can of neck oil for a long time, but it's got worse.
Not worth.
Do you know what I mean? It's almost just a bit ashy and a bit
Drainy.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
The only thing punching it up is the carbonation, but because mine's a bit undercarbed on the Keg.
There's just nothing. And look at the colour of it. I mean, neck oil was never that pale.
It's definitely paler. You notice the missing fruitiness.
Yeah, it's got
In the
no. I get the drain thing though as well.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
say, it is.
Slightly funky.
Yeah.
You know when you put a load of washing in on a Friday and then you find it on Sunday still in the
Yeah,
washing
yeah,
machine.
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
It's only subtle, but it's there.
But
It might be your glasses. Do you wash your glasses?
but there's just no.
Doing liquid hot products and stuff like that.
Yeah,
is the way
100%. There's no definable hot character to it. It's just stuff.
I'm going to slow down a little bit because I am driving. The last time I left here, Richard, you made a right mess of me.
You weren't driving that time.
I was in an Uber, which cost me about £100 to get home.
Well, thankfully, I'm not driving this time, so I'll do it for you.
But yeah, wishy-washy. Not at all fruity compared with this. There's fruit in it, but side by side, that's it's just far. It's got
Do you know what?
a lot more
Actually,
depth.
it's that cask version that you've done is
Cask
wonderful.
is really nice.
Really good, isn't it?
It's clearer as well. That's just good.
And
Yeah,
this,
I mean,
this is the keg then.
Yeah, no, that's the keg you've got there, I think. Oh, that's
The
lovely.
keg one is cloudier. You've probably got the keg one in your hand.
Oh, that was the keg one I had then. This is the cask.
Yeah, even that cask one, that's really good.
I think I prefer the Cask one. I know I'm biased to Cask, but it's just so smooth and easy drinking.
How do you think? How do you think your average local cask drinker would react to that though? We've started doing cask at my place. We still get the boys that are like, I don't want anything to taste of flowers.
Yeah.
I want good solid hedgerow cask beer kind of thing. But that would go down a storm at my place. They would love that.
Yeah.
I've got old boys drinking 6.5% hazies at my place, and they absolutely love it.
You can have a flowery, as you put it, cask beer, as long as it's just not too much. And particularly the bitterness can alienate people, can't it? I like bitter and flowery beers, but the more balanced in the middle of the road you are, the more you're going to appeal to both sides of the spectrum, aren't you?
Which is always the tricky thing with me and you as well, Andy, is that we've got to make beers that people want to drink. For as much as all the brewers say, I make beers I like to drink, and it's all no, actually, really, you've got to make this that other people are going to buy and then drink.
Yep. And this fits into that category, I reckon, because it's a 4% golden ale. It's easy drink. And that, if I have beers on here, like I've got Old Peculiar on tonight, I've got a pin of it on. I know that I won't drink it for all that because people are terrified.
But they're not frightened of another slightly large yellow beer that you've got on there as well, which is funny, isn't it?
It is funny, yeah. But I think it's together with being dark, it just adds an extra layer of terror to people.
It's just got the breadth. We've got six cask ales on at the pub in some batch now. 4% pale, another 4% pale. The first 4% pale is White Rat. We talked about that before. You want to do that one some point. A bitter 4-ish. All sessionable, and then strong lime, which is at least 5%, 5 to 6.
And then you say to me, you've got this kind of strong lime. That's where
a stout, which could be anything. And we've had Sarah Hughes Dark Ruby on there recently, 6%. Just absolutely we smash it out in a day. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Busy place.
And people don't sit on it all night. Well, some did, but typically they'll start a couple of session ales and then finish the night on that. They'll just think they're having one, but then they'll have another one, then another one sometimes.
That's the thing with the stronger beers, though, is people say, people won't drink it, but they will.
They'll build up to it.
But that's and you'll get through that beer because it will be all the people that night will. I'm going to finish on one of those.
On the cask row, the second best seller we've got after White Rat is Get Lucky. Ours.
That's 5.8.
So it's 5.8, but we've done it on at £4.60, I think, at the moment.
That's great value, right?
So it's the best value drink in there. If you want to have a proper pint and you don't want too many of them, that's the one.
Yeah.
And they're disappointed when it's not on.
Really?
Yeah. So and we've swapped that line. We've got Ginger Beard on. I'm going to put Cask Divine Hibernation on this coming week.
Yeah.
But they want me get when's the Locky back? When's the Locky back? So and that's 5.8. So I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it. You've got the breadth. You satisfy everybody that comes in.
Yeah.
We do get people that come in and just have one because they're driving, or got to go.
I'll do that. I'll go into somewhere, have a beer, then off you go.
Yeah.
But you're different, I suppose, when you're in a town like Sandbach, you've got a good percentage of people that don't have to drive, like walking or whatever, haven't you?
Taxis, Uber,
and so they can just let the clutch slip a bit then, can't they?
Yeah. I'd say pretty much without, if they know they're going to have 4 or 5 pints, they're always going to start low and work their way up. Finish the night on something.
Why do we do that? I was thinking about that the other day.
I don't know, but
just go big straight away. Just go straight in.
British culture is if we've got a really strong, nasty beer, even an 8% or something, we say, I'm going to have that as the last drink of the evening. We're better off having a 3% beer than to try and
it's funny, isn't it?
savour up. But we always crescendo on an 8%.
That is it. It's the crescendo thing. It's like, I'm going to finish big. Shit or bust sort of thing.
Yeah, literally sometimes.
Or both.
But it's funny, isn't it? I've not thought about that before. But, got to say, Rich, both of those, not a patch on the commercial version. The keg one is really good, but the cask one is really good as well.
It is a bit sort of flat, not in the carbonation sense, but just in the flavours.
Muted. It is.
Muted, yeah, that's right. And it used to be so amazing. I remember the first time you had Neck Oil. It's one of those beers you remember, that Jack, or just something you've never experienced before in your life.
Yeah.
What was the other one they did? I vividly remember. Is it Magic 8 Ball, which is like a black IPA? I think they did, and it was mind-blowing. Obviously, you can't get it anymore now, but
Really?
yeah, it's what happens when big beer gets involved in good stuff, right?
I guess why would it was successful to start with? The only reason to change it is just to make more money at it, I guess. And if you're going to strip out as much cost as you can,
well, that's hot.
there's some compromises. And
look at the colour difference, right? I mean, it's just hot products. It's the least amount of malt in there physically possible. The ABV is slowly dropping over time, and I can talk for days about the dreaded, low tax bracket where there's that tax bracket 3.4 and stuff, and
Surprised I haven't done that.
well, we talk about that on the brewery tour that I do around just because people don't realise it.
No.
Telling them about what's happened.
So
So next time you go down the supermarket aisle, look at all of your
That's
kind
now.
of all the hobgoblin stuff, everything. 3.4.
Yeah.
because it's all even more profound on bottles, isn't it? Because
Yes.
the rate's even more, isn't it?
And then it goes to a supermarket. All the VAT stuff, which we were talking about earlier, is yes, VAT is the problem. Is a very topical thing at the moment.
Just paid my VAT.
Don't talk.
pretty.
No.
It'd be alright if you could specify on the VAT return what you wanted it spent on.
But no, another great beer. It's really good. Where did you get the recipe from? Was it something you worked backwards?
No,
or?
and I've got can take no credit for this because I think it's a while. I've had it in my system for a while, but I'm pretty sure I just plagiarised the Malt Miller's recipe for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so which means that they've got a kit on their website, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it is called Oil for the Neck, which is what they call it.
Yes. And obviously, I seem to recall there's quite a few people that have surmised what the recipe is, and if you look online, there's loads of different variants of it. But
I think it's got. Well, it doesn't need to be close anymore because that'd be bad.
well, yeah, I mean, not close to that, but yeah, you're right. It's not a million miles away.
No, it isn't, is it? It's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I might even have to borrow that Cask recipe off you, Rich. Like that. I think I could see us doing a Cask version of that.
Super. Right.
What have we got?
So here you've got your neck oil that we brewed together,
We did indeed.
and a real can of neck oil.
Genuine. Coppering up, are we? One between two.
Well,
Good job I'm not thirsty, isn't it?
see, it's a bit
It's
lighter.
lighter straight off, isn't it?
So the fuller one is the Homebrew, and it is quite a bit darker.
Suppose you're going to blame me for that.
No, that's the recipe, but I remember last time I brewed it, it came out a bit darker, and I thought, well, actually, that's nicer. It's a matter of opinion, but I think it's a nicer colour, having that bit more. But in terms of accuracy, yeah, it is a bit too dark. So, aroma.
Slightly stronger but then I suppose we've got the incredible Wheatlow froth. That it's not a fat lot in that.
Very close, isn't it?
I was taking my time hoping that he was going to say something much more clever than I could, but they both taste the same. so-
When we first made it, I'd say the Homebrew had a bit more about it, but it's faded a bit, and now I suppose the can's reasonably old as well.
So let's embarrass you. Yeah. No, you're still good and in date there, Richard. It's not been
It's
working.
out of date.
It's
but
not out. It's not out of date. You're good. Best before 27. So
Well, there we are.
stock rotation works.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of getting it really close, couldn't say any further than that. What I really wanted to do is get close to how it used to be, because critics allege that the current Heineken version isn't what it used to be.
Well, I was just thinking that it does taste, and it's a technical term, waterier than perhaps it used to. And I think neck oil, and this tasting in particular, is quite close to my heart, because obviously been involved with the brew, which was excellent, thank you. But it was probably one of the first craft beers that I tried after mine. It was, well, back in the day when it came out, there's a guy I knew, he worked on the artwork, and he always used to send me
Oh, really?
Beavertown at Christmas, so it was probably, to me anyway, one of the first sort of crafty beers that I got into. So neck oil and gamma ray as well were always sort of favourite beers, and you didn't see it everywhere, but now it's obviously Heineken up.
And that's the benefit of Heineken buying such a brewery, is the distribution and the availability. And if you go somewhere non-beery now, like a cinema or something, you might find it on, which is a big improvement to John Smith's or something 20 years ago.
Yeah.
but the artwork, I mean, it was a revolutionary beer, wasn't it, when it came out? But the neck oil and all the Beavertown artwork was really famous at the time for being groundbreaking as well.
How long's it been about?
I think it was about 2011, something like that.
Okay.
Not that long ago, when you're as old as we are. Well, who's the chap that you know that does the artwork then?
There's a gentleman called Jan. He was my wife's best friend's husband now. So yeah, he is a graphic designer working in London, and yeah, it was one of those. It was like, oh, I'm working on a beer and a beer label, and I'd never heard of Beavertown, if I'm honest. Well, why would you?
I mean, it was a London-centric beer, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't make its way up here until later on, but I mean, I think I remember, first having it and thinking, wow, that's different. That's a lovely hoppy session strength beer as well, not a ridiculous strong sort of American 6%er.
I have to say, as an aside, the whole experience of doing a brew with you, compared to, I've obviously watched your full-length YouTube videos, but doing it yourself and being involved on the day, there's so much more involved than you actually really show behind the scenes.
Let's be clear, how much can you actually remember of the early brew day? Because you did report for duty in somewhat less able...
Well, it was a weekend of extreme training, and we don't shy away from that in the Heath, do we?
I mean, whatever happened to the water salts for this, which was your first job? We'll probably never know what you put in.
I'll have you know it was accurate to the grain.
To the litre, I think you mean.
Well, there you go. It's remarkable. It's so similar then, isn't it?
It is.
We've done our job.
If only we could repeat that formula, then we'd be able to recreate.
Take ourselves back to that state of mind and go from there.
And well, it was really good actually having you three other friends with you, and this is the first time I've done a brew day. I've done brew days with people with me, but the first time where we've had enormous pieces of meat and put them on the barbecue and played with them all day, and that adds another dimension to it. So I think I'm going to definitely do that again.
It was good.
It's just chilled, wasn't it? Just having 4 of us, 5 of us, split the jobs up, made light work of everything. I brewed and you sat in a chair.
I struggle to believe that. No, but there was either something happening on the barbecue or something happening on with the brewery. So it sort of works in nicely, because when you're cooking big lumps of meat or brewing, there's normally periods of time where you're waiting for something to happen. But if you do it just right, which we obviously did by design, not by happy accident.
Well, quite, yeah.
There's always something going on.
And I think that might be the first time that I've ever sat by a barbecue and had 3 meals in a row all off the barbecue. But it was a good death. We tasted a few different beers, all of them in fact, even Old Peculiar, I think.
Yep.
But so it's a miracle really that we've churned a beer out at all, but for it to be pretty accurate, I think that's not bad.
I'm very happy with that, and I wouldn't say otherwise, would I?
We can send some cans, or can some, we can send some to you, to the others. And I think we put the gluten-free stuff in, so it's all right for,
we did.
For Kingy, is it, that's gluten-free. Pity they can't all be here, but they live literally at the extremities of the kingdom, don't they?
You're not a man for road trips, are you?
But one's in Brighton area, is he?
East Sussex.
East Sussex.
Kent and Dumfries.
Dumfriesshire.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'd say that was a frothing success on the neck oil. In fact, it's gone down really well in the tap room, and the cask version that we tried, there's only one little pin, so there's none left now, but it was absolutely delicious. Did you try that when you
I
came?
missed that.
Did you miss
Yeah,
that?
I did
I'm
miss
sure
that.
it was on when you were here.
Well, I think you were trying to force Old Peculiar down there.
That doesn't sound like me.
That's unusual for you, Richard, really.
I've got a new version of Old Peculiar, actually.
Well, let's go for it.
Do you reckon we'll do another brew day next year then, or sometime?
It's a date. Let's get it in.
Super. So we'll have to put our thinking caps on what beer to brew for next time. And so let us know in the comments what you think of this frothing empty neck oil. Until next week, we'll just say frothing ale.
Frothing ale.
Cheers.